If you ever thought chicken fried steak was too complicated to make, think again. Today I'm going to show you just how easy it is to make that golden, crispy chicken fried steak right in your own kitchen. No deep fryer, no stress, no fancy ingredients, y'all. And I bet y'all have just about everything that I'm using today with the exception of the meat. I know y'all already have it in your kitchen. And to take it up a notch, I'm going to be pairing this chicken fried steak with some sweet and buttery candied yams that melt in your mouth and bring all of the soul food energy to the table, y'all. And by the way, this is a new candied yam recipe. You would not be disappointed. But yeah, today's dinner is pretty simple to make. If you've been looking for an easy chicken fried steak recipe, come on in this kitchen. Let's get to cooking. I'm going to show you everything that I will be using to make this chicken fried steak. Whenever I make chicken fried steak, I always start with the marinade. It's pretty much how I was taught. So in this bowl, I'm cracking 1 large egg and pouring in a cup of buttermilk. Then I've added a few dashes of Louisiana hot sauce. You can use whatever hot sauce you have in your pantry. It doesn't have to be Louisiana. The hot sauce is not for the heat. It's more to wake up the flavor. And to season the marinade, I'm sprinkling in a half teaspoon of black pepper and another half teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to whisk it all together until it's smooth and creamy. Once my marinade is ready, I'm adding my cubed steaks to the bowl. This pack only had 3 in it, but that's all I could afford this week. It was $5 and the larger pack was well over $10. And I'm working with a $100 grocery budget for the week, so I had to stretch every dollar that I had. And y'all already know how high these meat prices are these days. Now I'm just taking my spoon and gently pressing that marinade into all of the little grooves and crevices of the steak. Now, after what seemed like a battle with this saran wrap, I finally got it covered. Why is that saran wrap always a struggle? It just don't make sense, y'all. But anyway, I'm putting this in the fridge for a couple of hours so the buttermilk can really soak in and tenderize the meat. It's been a couple of hours and now it's time to heat up the oil. But let me let you in on a little trick I picked up along the way. Always warm up your skillet first before you pour in the oil. It's like giving it a head start. That way the oil heats up faster and more evenly. Now, this seasoned flour is going to really make this chicken fried steak pop. I've added 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a half teaspoon of black pepper, and a tablespoon of onion powder. And that's what I call layering the flavors. After I added all of that, I added a teaspoon of paprika for the little smoky kick, and I added a tablespoon of seasoned salt to tie it all together. And then I'm giving it a good mix. And let me tell you, this is one of those beginner friendly recipes that makes you feel like a professional chef. I mean, who doesn't have these spices somewhere in their cabinet or spice drawer? Even if they're way in the back behind that random bottle of pumpkin spice you swore you used 2 falls ago. And y'all know how much I love fall. I'm so excited about fall and I can't wait until pumpkin spice season comes back. But anyway, we're going to give this a really good mix. All right, y'all, now it's time to bring this dinner to life. If you want to make a homemade gravy for your chicken fried steak, go ahead and set aside 4 tablespoons of the flour mixture. But the oil should be good and ready by now. But before we drop anything in that skillet, let's talk about this next part: seasoning and adding flour to the meat. We're going straight from the marinade into our seasoned flour. No drying it off, no patting it down. Just let that buttermilk mixture do its thing. And yes, indeed, we are double dipping. That means from the flour back to the buttermilk and then right back into the flour again. And I know it is a little extra, but so worth it. Hear me out. Double dipping gives you that thick, crispy crust, no ball spots. And you know what I mean when you have that one little spot that just will not crust up. Double dipping eliminates that. You will get that good southern style crunch when you double dip. But now I won't lie, this part is a little messy. So if you've got a pair of tongs, go ahead and grab them. And what I like to do is spoon the seasoned flour over the meat and then gently press it in, especially around the edges and all of those little creases, because the meat is still wet from the marinade and you want to make sure the flour clings to every nook and cranny. That's how you get all of the flavor with that first bite. You know, cooking always reminds me that life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. Like this chicken fried steak, for example. We season it, we dip it, we coat it, and sometimes it gets a little messy, but isn't that just like life? It's in those messy moments where we learn the most. Just like food, we're all a work in progress, layering on flavor, growing through heat, and coming out better on the other side. So even if you don't feel your best, keep stirring, keep going. Something good is always simmering. Right now, I'm checking to see if the oil is ready, but it looks like it needs a couple more minutes. Now, how the wooden spoon trick works is if you see tiny bubbles forming around it, that means the oil is hot and ready for frying. Now, if it just sits there like this one is doing, give it a little more time. All right, the oil is finally hot enough and it's time to get this chicken fried steak going. I'm using a nice size skillet, but I decided not to overcrowd it. I thought about tossing in 2 pieces at once, but since I wasn't in a huge rush, I decided to fry them one at a time. And I let it fry for about 4 minutes on each side to get that golden crispy crust. And one thing I've learned is not to mess with it too much while it's cooking. Just let it sit and do its thing. If you find your breading falling off while it's frying, what you can do is make sure that you dredge that meat really well in the flour. If not, once that meat hits the hot oil, that breading is just going to fall off and float everywhere. Trust me, I've learned from experience. I didn't make gravy this time. No one in my house really eats it, so I didn't want to waste ingredients. But just in case you love a good homemade gravy with your chicken fried steak, you'll need 4 tablespoons of butter, 4 tablespoons of that seasoned flour you use for the steak, 2 cups of heavy whipping cream, or you can use half and half, and you'll need some salt and pepper to taste. Now, to make it, you just melt the butter in a skillet, stir in the cream, and then gradually whisk in the seasoned flour until it's smooth. You're going to season it with salt and pepper, and there you go. Simple, creamy, homemade gravy. And this is how the chicken fried steak turned out. Next, I'm going to show you how I made those candied yams. Y'all look at that deliciousness back there. Let me show you all of the ingredients that I use for the candied yams. I've got my sweet potatoes all washed and peeled, and now I'm just slicing them up. You can actually leave them in full slices. My dad did it that way, but today I'm switching it up just a bit. I'm cutting each slice in half. It seems like a small change, but it really helps to stretch the candied yams into leftovers. More pieces mean more servings and less cooking for me the next day. This is everything that I'm using for the candied sauce, and I like to pre-measure before I start cooking. It makes everything easier. I'm using a half cup of granulated sugar, a half cup of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of water, a 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, a tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I'm also using 1 teaspoon of lemon juice to cut down on the sweetness. Now, I did mention earlier that this is a new recipe I'm trying out, and to be honest, I don't trust it all the way just yet. So I'm gonna ease into it with a little bit of this and a little bit of that and tasting as I go. Because if you've ever followed a recipe and your dish looks completely different from that recipe that you followed, you already know. So that's why I say we have to cook with our instincts sometimes, and that's what I'm doing with these candied yams. Now I'm pouring in the water, and honestly, it already looks like a bit much, but that's what the recipe called for, so I went with it. I did not listen to my gut with this one, but if it turns out to be too watery, I'll just let it simmer and cook down. Right Right now, I'm giving everything a good stir to bring all of those flavors together before adding the sweet potatoes. Now, what makes this recipe a little different from the one I usually follow is that it starts with building the sauce first. My go-to method, I usually add the sweet potatoes in first and then layer on the flavor as I go. So this is a little switch up for me, and we'll see how this all turns out. So now I'm just adding in the rest of the spices. I've been tasting as I go, and surprisingly, I ended up following the recipe exactly as it's written. When it comes to covering the pot, don't place the lid all the way. If you seal it completely, you risk burning the candied yams at the bottom. Instead, leave a small gap so the steam can escape, and be sure to give it a gentle stir every now and then. Right now, my focus is on the sauce. I want to make sure that it's not too watery. As I gently turn the sweet potatoes, you can see there's still quite a bit of liquid in there. Since they've already been simmering for about 20 minutes, I'm going to let them cook about 10 more minutes. And this is how it turned out, y'all. Look at that. That looks so delicious.
Hello viewers, welcome to another episode of Jordan's Reviews. And today, man, let me tell you, I was upstairs, I was kind of just cooling, chilling, and I smelled this divine scent that must have been heaven sent. Cause like, I was like, what is my mother cooking? I mean, I came downstairs, checked on it while I was in the process. She said, she was cooking up something. I said, okay, I'll let her cook. I come back downstairs now, and I never seen it. I've probably seen this before, but this, it still looks relatively new to me. It looks like some, what this is chicken? This is
chicken fried steak.
Okay, because I can remember, that's green beans, a little bit of sausage. That's sweet potato, honestly my favorite potato. The one I reasonably would say I would eat for, I don't know, maybe a month out of all potato-based things. I'm rambling. Anyway, yeah, it looks pretty good. I want to get a little close-up, so let's get a close-up on that, you know, I mean, my favorite part from this is probably gonna be the dang chicken, because I'm eyeballing it like a dang shark eyeballs fish. This is, ooh, okay. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna save this for last. I'm gonna start off with the healthier part first. Eat your veggies, kids. I had to get that in there. So we're just going, I want to get a bit of sausage and green beans so I can actually kind of taste it. This isn't hot, is it?
It's hot. It is fresh off the stove. No, it should have cooled down slightly. You might have to blow it just to be on the safe side.
My mother is trying to burn my taste buds.
See, it's not that hot.
I retract my last statement. It's not that hot. Okay. We're not trying to burn taste buds here. I want to get a bigger piece than that. Next up is the sweet potato, by the way. I guess y'all knew that because I was already kind of poking at it, but you know, I just had to let it out there. I feel heat radiating off of this.
That's a new recipe too. So does it taste, how does it taste?
I'll tell you how it tastes. Keep that camera on me.
So you like the recipe better than the other ones?
Video finish. Okay, I want to eat it right now. I want to eat the whole thing. Okay. The new recipe, it's hidden. I tasted like, at first it was both the taste and the texture. The texture was like, okay, it's a little different. Then the taste was even better. Was better and different. That's what, it's good. It's different in a good way. It's good in a good way. It's just sweet, tasty. I mean, God dang it, this chicken got competition. All right, without further ado, the main show, the star of the show, the chicken, I'm going to assume. I'm just gonna lightly poke it there, take a little bit off the top there. That's a lot of roasted goodness. Okay. Got a little kick to it.
Oh, is it spicy?
Oh no, it's just the flavor shock took me off. Like, it caught me by surprise. Like, it was, I knew it was gonna be good, but like, I was expecting kind of like the chicken taste, but it was a bit of chicken. Is this chicken?
Oh, it's actually cube steak.
That's why. Okay, so this isn't chicken. Okay, I had a little bit of the crunch, and then it had the taste. As for the taste, let me show you how good it is. Let me just. We're not doing that again.
Oh, it is crunchy, huh? Look at that.
Okay, delicious and crunchy. Now normally I don't like crunchy, but this crunchy, it's a good crunchy. Because each crunch is kind of a taste. It just, magnifique. I'll have to give it to the steak. The steak was absolutely, I'm talking, bussin'. I'm gonna give this a straight 50 out of 10 right here.
Ooh,
this is
50 out of 10.
50 out of 10. I got it. It's just that good. I'ma just call me off guard with the chewiness. Let me tell that to you. Let me tell you. When I was taking a bite out of this, I was expecting, okay, big whoop, I'm just take a bite and just keep on chewing. No, I actually had to. I had to break off. I had to like grab this. I was trying to be exquisite with the fork, but it wasn't cutting it. We had to resort to the rippers. Anywho, with all that being said, 50 out of 10, good meal. You know the deal. Still, God, you know what I meant. It was delicious. So all that being said, that's Jordan's reviews. I hope y'all have a great day. God bless the day, matter of fact. Y'all know what to do with that. Yeah, I know we got to remind y'all. That's all I gotta say. Big Bang Attack. I'm gone. I gotta eat.
I hope this video showed you that you don't need a ton of fancy ingredients or a lot of time in the kitchen to make something special for your family. If you decide to make this dinner, let me know down in the comment section, how did it turn out? Or if you have your own chicken fried steak recipe, also let me know down in the comment section so I can try it in a future recipe video. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to become a part of the family, which I would love to have you over here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that we both can learn how to make these recipes together, and also how to save money in this day and age, because that's what I pretty much talk about on this channel: how to cook with love, and how to save money while doing all of those things. Now, one thing I do want you to continue to do is don't be afraid to make mistakes in the kitchen, because that's where we learn best, from our mistakes. I pray that you all have an amazing day, and we will chit chat in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.